This week, it's the guest house of horrors for the hotel inspector.
But we changed the colour of the paintwork to go with the canopies.
Calm down, there's sweat coming out.
Just look up here and the filth and the dust. It's just repulsive. I know this is going to hurt because it's hurtful. My bathroom really wasn't clean.
Okay, stop, guys. Can you stop filming? That's too offensive, okay?
This is the Saxonia, a 9-bedroom guest house located in the faded seaside glamour of Weston-super-Mare. It's owned and run by John and Sandy Harrop.
To me, it's our life.
This is our baby. We got no children.
But the Saxonia is stuck in a time warp. It'll need a radical overhaul if it's to stay afloat and set a course for the 21st century. Enter Ruth Watson, award-winning hotelier. It's Ruth's mission to lift the Saxonia out of the Dark Ages. But can her no-nonsense approach get John and Sandy's house in order?
It's just awful. It's awful. Somebody's got a problem.
The Saxonia is located in the heart of Weston-super-Mare. When John and Sandy Harrop arrived in town 20 years ago, it was a tourist mecca. Business was booming.
20 years ago, you had people knocking at the doors, begging you to give them a room for the night.
Since then, like most seaside resorts in the UK, visitor numbers have dwindled. With the allure of low-cost foreign travel, the town's been deserted by the bucket and spade brigade.
I think our future is very much bounding with the future of Weston-super-Mare. Weston is at present trying to re-establish its identity in the great new world.
The town may be lumbering into the 21st century, but the Saxonia has been left behind.
I recognised from a very, very early age that you had to move with the times.
John's idea of staying in touch with the modern world is his pursuit of high-tech wizardry. From wireless hotspots to CCTV systems, all at the expense of the fixtures and fittings. In 8 weeks' time, their current 3-diamond rating is due to be reassessed, and the quality and tourism officials are introducing a new, tougher system of grading hotels, changing from diamonds to stars. But John's not short on ambition.
The next challenge is to go 4/5 stars. 5 stars is the thing to shoot for.
If the good ship Saxonia's to stay afloat, they need a reality check. And that's where Ruth comes in.
Here comes
Yep.
Ruth.
Yeah, here she is now.
Not only is this a faded yellow, turgid brown monstrosity, I can't tell the difference between this and the place next door. I mean, are they one and the same? I don't know. Hideous.
This is the moment of destiny for us, isn't it? What happens if she tears us apart?
This is the brochure. It's a slightly alarming picture. This is going to be interesting.
Wonder what she's thinking.
Oh my God.
Clashing carpets, floral wallpaper, a mass of plates, shelves full of toys. The lounge is an overwhelming mix of colours and patterns.
This is unbelievable.
First impressions are so important, aren't they? Because she might say it's perfectly fine.
And a water cooler. I don't know what to say. Right, let's just get rid of the whole bloody lot. That's just awful. It's awful. This is not to do with hospitality. It's somebody's got a problem. Hello.
Hello, Ruth. How are you?
I'm
Nice
Ruth. Yes,
to meet
hi.
you.
And
Yeah.
to meet
Now
you.
the pleasantries are over, Ruth needs to establish exactly why John and Sandy have called on her for help.
Basically, we're in a bit of a rut. We've been graded 3 diamonds now for a number of years. and we've been in a comfort zone. I feel it's time now to move on and upwards.
Right. Now,
Yeah.
who's the one who likes the stuff everywhere?
Predominantly I am. I'm of the opinion you can have your mind challenged by every single thing you look at in this room.
Yeah. And do you think that's the role of a hotelier, to challenge the guest's mind?
I think it's the role of everybody to challenge everybody else.
I mean, the thread I'm getting through this all the time, John, is your personality. This place, it's a conduit for you to extend to customers, and it's incredibly important to you.
Well, for mine, read ours, because we're a team,
Right?
okay? And don't ever make the mistake of not thinking that,
Okay.
right? And her personality comes through me,
Right.
okay?
But it's a business.
Correct?
Yeah.
And I'm not getting anything from you which suggests that you really think of this as a business. I want you to understand that all the personality on show everywhere might actually offend a few people.
Oh,
what you're
yeah,
gonna
I
say.
should Coco. Yeah.
There is a little bit too much of you in this place.
It's certainly food for thought.
Now, what's this all about? Tell me. What's the thinking? Is there any thinking, or is it just an accumulation?
Just happened, accumulated.
It's actually quite frightening, I have to say. This is where I'm saying about the personality thing. You know, an unfriendly person might think you were slightly mad having a room like this. Would they?
In addition to the lounge and dining room, the Saxonia has 9 ensuite bedrooms, which Ruth wants to inspect.
It's a sort of desperate little room. It's bleak and it's, you know, everything looks worn and old. I mean, look at these towels. They're all frayed and dreadful. And I can't believe it. There's even a picture behind the wardrobe.
If John and Sandy are to have any chance of getting a 4-star rating, Ruth wants the frontage to be overhauled and the tired lounge and fittings to be updated.
I feel energised. We just had a good intellectual discussion about a subject which I'm passionate about, which is the Saxonia guest house.
John and Sandy Harrop have been running the Saxonia for 20 years. They're keen to turn their 3-diamond guest house into a 4-star establishment, but they run out of ideas. Enter Ruth Watson. Already, she's identified 2 key areas that need work if they're to improve their grading. The frontage lacks impact, and it's hard to distinguish where the Saxonia ends and the next hotel begins.
Hideous.
They also need to modernise the lounge's overwhelming decor.
Oh my God. Somebody's got a problem.
But after spending a sleepless night in the Saxonia, these problems are the least of her concerns.
Well, I'm going down to breakfast now, but I have to be really honest and say I didn't take a shower this morning. This screen was just so grimy and repulsive and in every way a turn-off. I couldn't face getting into that bath. There's mildew behind it as well on the grouting. I mean, you can cope with rough towels, but at least look reasonably clean, but that is just repulsive. I mean, you just look up here and the filth and the dust on top of these lights, every single cabinet, mirror, what have you, it's dirty. There's a cracked bin. I mean, levels of cleanliness don't require any investment other than some thought and care. And I really think that, you know, John, with all his high-tech CCTV stuff, you know, he's looking at this guest house from completely the wrong viewpoint.
Downstairs, John and Sandy have been up for hours. The morning's a busy time and a good breakfast is a vital component of any stay.
We've done all the breakfasts now, except for there's just Ruth.
Just Ruth to come down.
Yeah.
She must have enjoyed it upstairs last night. She's last down.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good news, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is where John's CCTV comes into its own. They use the cameras to monitor the action in the dining room.
Ruth's just come down.
Has she?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you looked on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So she's in there, so I can go
Yeah.
and see her now.
I can see her now.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to take the order.
I actually laid awake last night for 5 minutes wondering what she was going to have. I just hope it's nothing French. Yeah.
So I can have the full English breakfast with any number of carbohydrates to go with it. I could also have an omelette, but I'm not that brave. Oh, hello, Sandy.
Hello.
Morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine.
My guess is it's going to be grapefruit segments.
I think I'll have the full English.
Coffee. She'll have a coffee.
I'll have some tea, please.
What are we doing, darling?
Full breakfast
Full
with
breakfast,
just with
potatoes.
potatoes, no beans.
Oh, blimey, that was quick.
Okay.
We look good enough to eat for me. So yeah, I'm confident, yeah. Quietly confident.
I haven't seen a sausage that's looked like this for quite some while. It's kind of got like the condom has slipped from the top. It's just so repulsive. It's a cheap breakfast, but having said that, they're not charging very much for the rooms. It's probably entirely within the context of the expectation of the guest. So in many ways, you know, why should I complain? But it's not the kind of breakfast I would want to come down to, I have to be very honest.
It's time for Ruth to confront John and Sandy with her findings.
The frontage, the canopies.
We like the striking yellow colour.
Right.
It makes us stand out.
Do you not think, though, that if you were to embrace yellow again, there's that continuing problem about your neighbours? Because for me, one of the things that was slightly confusing was I thought perhaps you owned the whole section of housing.
If you were confused with the colours next door, then may I suggest that you're colourblind? These are yellow. Those next door are definitely not yellow.
Cream.
They're
cream.
something like cream. Those are square, these are circular. These have Saxonia on them, they don't. Right, you're either blind or stupid if you cannot tell the difference between the two hotels.
We'll agree to disagree, shall we, John?
Right.
Okay.
Next, the cluttered lounge.
Now, I had an idea about how we could make this kind of fun and also provide a bit of income, possibly to help do some of the necessary refurbishments. And that was about having a sort of car boot garage sale of all the bric-a-brac and paintings and all the bits and pieces that you don't need. How do you feel about that? Well, John's about to have an apoplectic fit.
But Ruth's final bombshell is the most explosive.
I know this is going to hurt because it's hurtful. My bathroom really wasn't clean. The grouting is mostly mildewy. The screen on the bath side is really horrible. It is not nice. And you'll certainly see it on the
I
screen.
would actually dispute that, and I think we'll have to go and have a look at that. Okay?
See it,
Thank you.
yeah.
When it comes to the grading, I think, and it's only my personal opinion, that you are clinging perilously onto the 3 diamond rating. I would have you as 2, my experience, okay?
Right, I think you need to stop there. Okay, stop, guys. Can you stop filming? Right, I think you've got to stop all this nonsense you're coming out with, okay?
It's my feelings, John.
Right, that is too offensive for me.
Okay.
I don't want that in, okay? I need to go outside a minute. That's too offensive, okay?
Do you want to come up and look at the bathroom with me?
No, in a minute.
It's clear John doesn't want to hear the truth. Ruth is leaving them with plenty to think about.
We're big enough and ugly enough to take criticism, and we'll just suck it up and we'll get on with it. We're going to go up and onwards, and we're going to get our 4 stars.
If John and Sandy are serious about achieving a 4-star rating, they'll have to embrace the changes Ruth has asked them to make.
Dave,
Their first task, to update the aged yellow canopies. Next, they must tackle the hotel's interior, especially the old-fashioned lounge. Finally, they need to look at the cleanliness of those bathrooms. But days later, John is still unhappy about Ruth's comments, particularly the dirt and grime in the bathrooms.
we conducted what could be said an internal inquiry because it didn't look like hotel dust. I thought perhaps somebody had planted it there. And it was Sandy who actually came up with the theory. Now, the fan being a new fan, it's been creating a vortex and blowing all the dust down through that vent. And of course, it settles on everything it comes to. We've also mentioned that there was some dirty grouting. At no time was that mould dirty, because it is in fact what you can describe as clean dirt, in so much that it gets cleaned every time the room is clean.
To view a guest house already at the 4-diamond level, they visit the neighbouring town of Burnham-on-Sea. In a very short space of time, the owners of Ashbourne House have transformed it into a clean, comfortable and inviting establishment.
Hi, we're Sandy and John Howard from Weston-super-Mare.
The guest house has a bright, airy breakfast room and a welcoming conservatory, but it's the bedrooms the Harrops are most interested in.
Nice.
This is nice, isn't it?
Yeah, nice and bright too, isn't it?
See, they got these tissues, which I said we ought to have. I think we might have to suck it up now, you know. And the dreaded scatter cushions. I got to admit, I do like them.
This is spacious, isn't it?
Like the way they laid out. That's inviting, isn't it? This doesn't
lovely.
frighten you, does it?
No.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, nice.
That is what you call beautiful.
Tissue boxes aside, John can see little difference between this and his own 3-diamond Saxonia.
The good news is, I don't believe that we got too far to go to achieve 4-diamond rating.
Others might disagree. The bright conservatory is a world away from the Saxonia's cluttered lounge, and the quality of the linen and furnishings is far superior to John's frayed towels. So Ruth has sent John and Sandy a guide to the new rating system. They'll be assessed on cleanliness, hospitality, service, breakfast, and most importantly, the quality of the Saxonia's decor and fittings.
Cleaning, I think we're okay on. How do you think we're doing in that hospitality and friendliness category? I believe we're into the 5-star level.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think we are.
With so much at stake, how close do they think they are to the elusive 4th star?
We're so close, I can actually taste it. And it tastes nice. You've got to start putting the grated cheese on the spaghetti bolognese. That's what you've got to start doing, and we're well on the way for doing that.
But despite his earlier misgivings, it seems John is finally ready to embrace Ruth's way of doing things, just in time, as Ruth has returned to the Saxonia to see how they're getting on.
Here she is, then.
Her last visit had ended on a very sour note, but there's a surprise in store for Ruth.
Hello, John.
Hello, Ruth. How are you?
I'm all right. How are
Good.
you?
Yeah, fine. Thanks.
John and Sandy have taken it upon themselves to declutter the dining room.
We have stripped it out a bit, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yes. Much cleaner, fresher, less cluttered.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it? Does it make you feel good, bad?
Calm.
Sandy
You feel
loves it.
calm. Very straight away. As soon as I started coming in here, I felt very calm.
Well, I think it makes this a much nicer room. I
It
think
feels high class to me.
it has a much classier feel to it. I'm not going to go as far as high class, John. You know me.
Right.
But I do think it
Right.
definitely has a better feel. Definitely. And what about the other things? We sent you through some standards and the gradings and all that sort of stuff. Did you read through those?
As well as reading out, I've done some investigation. 3 diamonds is not automatically 3 stars. I can now understand where you're coming from. But I still want 4 stars.
I think if you get 3, you should be feeling very happy. If you get 4, you should be extremely excited. For me, I'm happy for us to go for 3 in the new system. I would just like to see the things that are shabby, the things that are mucky and dirty, not because they're necessarily not cleaned properly, but because they're aged and tired and they don't look fresh, right? All those things definitely dealt with. You know, whether you are the queen or the person who goes and cleans out the sewers, you want to sit on a clean lavatory seat. You know, that's all.
Exactly.
It sounds like you're cracking on, which is really good.
I know last time we met, we possibly got off on the wrong foot.
John, all I need you to know is that the only reason I'm here
Yeah.
is to objectively look at your business and see where I could put things right.
When you're saying things, it sounds like you're saying, well, I wouldn't have it in my hotel.
You're absolutely right. I would die rather than have this china and these mats in my hotel. But what I'm trying to say is that I need you to remove the feelings of this is my baby, like you know, it's that I can kick my dog, you can't syndrome. And what I'm saying to you is that I am here to kick your dog.
95% of the time, right, you're making good, sensible business sense. It's the way in which you come out.
Now, you and I would not trade together, right? You wouldn't buy a car from me and I wouldn't buy a car from you.
Correct.
Okay? Right. So we have to get over that, both of us.
If you own a new roof, we agree about 99%
I've gone up 4%.
Buoyed by a 99% approval rating, Ruth feels ready to push on with her plans. She wants John to take a hard look at the hotel's frontage, which has remained the same for over 20 years.
Now, John, you told me that I was either blind or stupid, I think, when I said these blinds were very similar to your neighbours'.
Well, I do apologise for that remark. I mean, that did slip out. I didn't mean to say that.
It's still, for the person who isn't aware of your establishment, has never been here before, I do think they need to be a bit more dramatically different, don't you think?
Yes.
Nothing to do with that lot.
Definitely.
Yeah?
Yes, definitely.
So have you had any thoughts about colours in your mind?
We thought some shade of blue.
Yeah?
Ruth wants the Harrops Hotel to stand out from the competition. To make the most of passing trade, they need a clean, modern look. So she's taken John and Sandy out to the canopy manufacturer to make a final selection.
We've got to get rid of those yellow.
Kind of changed now.
Kicking and screaming?
No,
yeah.
no.
All right.
No, quite willing.
But she's encountered a problem. The Harrops won't make a final decision on the colour of the canopies because they haven't decided on the colour of the paintwork. And Ruth is exasperated.
Why have you got this thing about two blues?
Because the brown brickwork, which is painted brown, and the panels have to go to two colours of blue.
Who says? Is there some kind of law book or is there a textbook somewhere that I haven't read?
Yes,
that
it's
says you
called
have to have
Harrops.
two
It's
shades
called
of blue?
Harrops Law Book. Right.
Harrops Law Book, I'm throwing out, OK?
Right.
Let's talk about the sodding canopies. The canopies are the things we're here for, and it's the canopy colour that counts. So it's either this one or this one.
I still don't know because it all depends on the colour of the paintwork.
But we changed the colour of the paintwork to go with the canopies. Start with the canopies.
Do you want to go and have a sit down somewhere?
No, I don't. You're being
No?
so
Are you
obtuse.
sure?
I'm sorry, you're being very obtuse.
Calm down, there's sweat coming out.
Start with
right?
the canopies, and then what we do with the paintwork is a secondary matter.
Move over, actually. I want to move there because she's giving me a earache. OK?
Paint. You have about 1 million variations of colour. It is so immaterial at this stage to think about the paint.
What you need to remember, Ruth, is, right, that we're the important ones here, right? And I don't really want you screaming at us.
And with the inspection looming, John and Ruth still can't see eye to eye.
I wouldn't wear that shirt as my shroud, never mind to dinner.
John and Sandy Harrop own the Saxonia, a 9-bedroom guest house in Weston-super-Mare. For the last 5 years, they've been cruising along with a 3-diamond rating. But all that's about to change. The grading system for hotels and guest houses is being revolutionised. Within the next 8 weeks, the Saxonia's rating will be reassessed.
We'll be a 4-star establishment. I truly believe that. If not, I'm going to slit my throat.
They've called on award-winning hotelier Ruth Watson to help them get up to scratch.
Hideous.
But her no-nonsense approach hasn't always gone down well with John and Sandy.
You and I would not trade together, right? You wouldn't buy a car from me and I wouldn't buy a car from you.
Correct.
Just look up here and the filth and the dust. It's just repulsive.
Agreement's finally been reached on the colour of the canopies.
You're being so
Are
obtuse.
you sure? Can I just move over, actually? I want to move there because she's giving me an earache.
But the frontage is only one of the issues with the Saxonia. Second on Ruth's list is the interior decor. The bedrooms and bathrooms need updating, and Ruth has left strict instructions about overhauling the lounge to drag it out of the 1970s. Sandy and housekeeper Carly are making a start, clearing out the shelves of stuffed toys and the collection of decorative plates.
We need to make new changes, and the only way to do it and to move forward is to try and accept other people's ideas of these changes.
Despite his earlier resistance, John has been busy addressing cleanliness in the bathrooms.
Okay, well, in this room we have replaced the shower enclosure door, which came off this wall here with the shower curtain. We've also managed to get all the grouting cleaned off. Another thing that Ruth has picked up on is the fact that our towels are getting a little bit past it. Hope to be replacing these with Egyptian cotton.
Out front, the canopies have finally come down.
The front of the building is completely different now, and I'm glad we've got no one coming today. A couple of my friends, they said, why have you taken them down? It's a landmark, and you know, everyone's going to miss them. Are you going to put yellow canopies back up there again?
We've lost our identity at the moment, which is it's quite confusing for us.
Emptied of toys and plates, work gets underway in the lounge. It's a radical makeover for the Harrops, and they're finding it a shock to the system.
It was a bit of me, wasn't it? My personality. I mean, before it tended to wrap itself around people and invite people in and say, look, come on in, there's nothing to be afraid of here. But perhaps not now.
The empty lounge is ready to be decorated, but it'll need furniture that befits a modern guest house. Ruth has asked John and Sandy to leave the safe haven of Weston and venture out to a contemporary furniture store.
What, this one?
No, I hear you.
That's not bad. I wonder if these are the colours. Was that the scar somebody's left? Right, I ain't moving. I'm staying here for 2 hours. I wonder what you do with that. I wonder if you plug that in. Based on our last encounter, I think she's likely to take issue with everything we look at.
Have you had a good look?
Yeah, we have
we have.
actually.
Yeah.
We seen a few things we like.
Yeah. So, what have you found? Have you
So settee over there.
Settee over there.
We
This
like-
is the one.
We like that one.
I have to be honest, it's certainly not my cup of tea, and I'm a little bit worried about the colour.
Instead of pale beige leather that's
Right, what do
easily
you see?
marked,
No.
Ruth shows them something to complement their new blue exterior.
What do you think about this? I mean,
Not sure.
I thought you'd like it because it still embraces some of the traditional rounded arm and what have you, but with the loose cushions, it's got that sort of slightly more casual, modern feel about it.
No, it's not. Wow.
Our eyes are attracted to things like this. It's got a form to it.
Yes.
I like Italian cars
Yes.
because they got lines to them.
How far down the road of modernity are you prepared to go? This is the thing.
Well, not knowing what modernity means, I'm not quite
Well,
sure.
just modern. How modern are
modern?
we going to go?
Ruth wants to get John and Sandy away from an old-fashioned three-piece suite, so they make the most of the space available with a corner unit.
This is the one I saw on my way in.
Yeah.
Corner unit, quite modern looking, leather, which you obviously like. What do you think about that?
And we haven't thought of a corner unit
Yes.
because we just thought that that was out of date.
Why would they
So-
have left a cushion off that?
No, this is the latest trend for having these very flat areas at the end of these sofas. But this one, you're not horrified about anyway.
No, this one is a definite maybe.
Okay.
Back at the Saxonia, real progress is being made. The faded yellow canopies have been replaced, giving the hotel a fresh, bright frontage that will stand out to passers-by.
No, up a bit. Centre it. Go on. No, right, seriously. Yeah, that's okay.
That's good.
Yep.
All in all, the new-look Saxonia is a far cry from the faded guest house that Ruth first set eyes on. The clashing, cluttered lounge has been painted, papered and recarpeted. The finished result is calm and welcoming. Upstairs, the grimy bathrooms have been spring-cleaned, and the fraying linen and bedspreads have been replaced. John and Sandy have even added scatter cushions to each of the beds. The Saxonia looks clean, modern, uncluttered. But is it going to be enough to impress Ruth? And with the hotel's reassessment looming, have they done enough to get 4 stars? The Saxonia's undergone so many changes, John's marketing looks out of date. So he's invited local photographer Volkan to take some modern portraits of the guest house and its proprietors. But the shoot is scheduled for a busy day at the Saxonia.
As luck would have it, we've also got a new fridge coming today. And on top of all that, Ruth Watson is coming back at round about 3 o'clock, no doubt to engage in intellectual discussions with me. Hi, you
John.
must be Vulcan.
Hi, John. Nice
Come
to meet
on in, how are you?
you. Very well yourself?
Yeah, fine, thank you. I'll just get Sandy, okay? Sandy, this is Sandy, my
Nice to
wife,
meet you.
yeah?
Nice to meet you.
We've decided to try and go from 3 diamond to 4 stars, which is a huge leap. We need a 4-star approach now to our photography, yeah?
Whoa, quick. That's it. Just look at me.
The shoot is pretty cool, eh? That's probably worth more than my house.
En stop de camera, John.
Sorry, I nearly called you darling then. Carly, yeah, one of you can start delaying that dining room now, okay? Yep, thanks.
Excellent, thank you.
Okay.
Turn to this one.
You're ugly.
This one. Stay that way, that's one. Keep that.
They call me Mr. Smooth.
One more time. Excellent, that's a romantic one. That's good, I like that.
What about one with the tongue?
No.
Now John and Sandy can focus on their second chance to make a good first impression on Ruth.
This is such an improvement. We've got blue blinds that match the sky. Hello. Hiya.
Impressed by the frontage, Ruth is keen to view the revamped lounge.
You have to say this is a transformation, don't you?
That's
I mean, this is
a fair comment.
This is about as far away from the cluttered look as you can get. To me, this is immediately something that says, yeah, this is a proper place, you know. It was like some schizophrenic kind of horror before.
Well, we realised that after a while. You know, we did what we thought every guest wanted.
But
And
it was like the amalgamation of every car boot sale that's ever taken place in the Western Isles. Do you know what I mean?
no. Let's say that.
I think that's a bridge too far. I'm not allowing you to get away with that one.
Next for inspection, the bedrooms and bathrooms that caused so much friction when Ruth first arrived.
Gosh! Sandy, this is a bit of a transformation.
Yeah.
You've been going mad on the bedding front.
Yes.
I mean, that really is, you know, a massive improvement, Sandy. You should be very proud of yourselves. And I really did think that, you know, you weren't going to listen, you weren't going to do anything, you were just going to carry on in your own sweet way. So I've got to say, you know, my apologies for underestimating you, because actually you really have reacted fantastically well. Sandy, this has changed. Feels like somebody cares about it. Somebody's taking the time to do it. I mean, it's a huge transformation. This. Well done, you. Really, well done. Well done.
Yeah.
Tonight, John's invited a select group of local dignitaries, including his MP, to an exclusive dinner party. If they like what they see, they'll spread the word, which could help John's marketing campaign to take the Saxonia up in the world. But John's been so caught up in the events of the day, he's fallen way behind in his food prep. As the sun sets on the Saxonia, there's reason for optimism. Ruth's impressed and the stage is set for the evening's rebranding exercise. A private dinner party for a group of influential guests will give John and Sandy an opportunity to impress.
Hello. Good morning. Hello.
The VIPs begin to arrive.
Hello there. Hello. Hiya. Hello. This looks a very dry affair. Have we? Let me see if I can go and find some booze. I don't like parties without drink.
See how we get on.
See how you get on with the sherry.
Before dinner, Sandy serves sherry and the kind of sponge biscuits more usually found at the bottom of a trifle.
Sherry, or would you like a wine?
Tell me the thinking behind the boudoir biscuits to begin with. What's all that about?
It's meant to soak up sherry.
Maybe to soak the sherry up.
They don't normally offer people sweet things at the start of the meal. They normally go afterwards. Hello. Hiya, I'm Ruth Watson. I'm playing games here. Hello, how do you do? Come in.
I think the MP's just arrived. I need to go and get changed.
Front of house, Sandy is holding the fort, welcoming wave upon wave of guests.
Sandy, another guest.
But despite his best intentions, the preparation is taking John longer than expected.
I have to say that John's being very brave about how late he's leaving some of these things. If I was having people sit down to dinner in 20 minutes or so, I would want to have the mash and all this stuff ready. Don't forget to check his chicken, girls.
Yeah.
Why, good evening, everyone.
Ruth may have updated the lounge, but even she can't rescue John's wardrobe.
How are you? Thank you for coming. Graham, good evening.
Hello, John.
Nice to
be
see you
here. Thanks
again.
for inviting me.
You're
Good to see
very
you.
welcome.
Let's move off those pans on top of the oven. There to the right. Mind your hands. Make sure they're not free. Yep. Sorry. Sandy, you don't cook. No. You're not a cook. You stay well out of this.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. Keep me occupied. But don't talk about the war.
Why?
I did, and I offended somebody.
Oh.
Absolutely stupid. This is so badly awful. Does everyone...
With so much riding on tonight, they can't afford to leave their guests waiting. So Sandy gives an impromptu tour of their revamped bedrooms. Downstairs, John's got his work cut out.
I think little bit ambitious on the timing, I think.
Finally, just over an hour late, dinner is served.
Ladies and gentlemen, let the meal commence.
John's menu includes prawn cocktail for starters, roast chicken with a cheesy mash and 3 veg, followed by a pavlova dessert. Despite its late arrival, John's cuisine seems to be going down well. The distinguished guests seem happy and, more importantly, interested in the new-look Saxonia. Even local MP Mr Penrose is intrigued by John and Sandy's quest for 4 stars.
If you're a betting woman, we're all hoping John's going to get his 4th star.
Yeah.
What do you reckon the chances are?
I think his chances are hugely better than they were before. Certainly
2 to 1 on, 3 to 1 on?
They've certainly worked hard enough to do it. I mean, they really have. They've put a huge amount of effort in. And to my surprise, because we didn't get on very well for quite some while. You might imagine why. But both very difficult people. Your taste isn't my taste, it never will be. I mean, I wouldn't wear that shirt as my shroud, never mind to dinner. However, you love it, so that's absolutely fine.
I wouldn't give that coat.
No, how true.
For the guests, the evening has been a great success.
I think everybody here has got a real hope that this has worked and that the Saxonia will be getting its extra 4th star or diamond.
It's a great improvement. I think the front of the building, the colour scheme there is bright and attractive. It gets your attention as you go past, and then I'm sure they'll get extra trade as a result of that.
It's comfortable and bright and fresh. It's lovely.
I would say they're much, much closer at getting the 4th star than they were 6 months ago.
As the dinner party draws to a close, Ruth retires upstairs.
It's quite obvious that they just don't do entertaining, but I'm not going to judge them on that because it was a heroic thing to do, and I suppose it sort of sums up in a way John's insouciance about life, you know, that he can do anything even if he's massively underskilled to do it. But in the end, I think the meal came off. It was fine, you know. It wasn't the greatest cuisine in the world, but everyone seemed to quite enjoy it. So good luck to him.
But their pursuit of 4 stars is far from over. The final hurdle is the official inspection. Can they pass muster under pressure?
Is it Mr. Harrop?
I am, yes.
Yeah, can I introduce myself properly, Mr. Harrop? From Quality and Tourism. I'm here to do your quality assessment.
Right.
OK.
For the past 4 months, Ruth Watson has been trying to bring the Saxonia guest house out of the Dark Ages and into the 21st century. The transformation of the Saxonia is complete. It's finally more in tune with the demands of a modern hotel guest. Owners John and Sandy Harrop are keen to upgrade from 3 diamonds to 4 stars under a new grading system that assesses quality in tourism.
We're so close, I can actually taste it. And it tastes nice.
Ruth is relatively pleased with their progress.
Sandy, this has changed.
But the one person whose opinion matters now is the official inspector.
Will it be a 4-star establishment? I truly believe that. If not, I'm going to slit my throat.
John and Sandy don't realise it, but he's about to arrive for an undercover stay. The inspector will check in under an assumed name before spending the night and taking breakfast. Only after he's checked out will he reveal his true identity and tour the rest of the hotel before giving his assessment.
Cheers.
Okay. Right, so you're going to be in room 6 on the top floor.
Okay.
Can I give you a hand with your luggage?
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind. I'd like you to take that. That's a heavy one.
He'll scrutinise decor, fixtures and fittings and pass judgment on cleanliness, hospitality, service and breakfast provided.
Just turn it up.
Fine. Okay.
Okay?
Lovely.
Okay.
That's fine. Thanks very much. Thanks very much indeed. Cheers now. Thanks a lot. Cheers.
All the hard work and effort the Harrops have put in now rests on the verdict of this one man.
Okay. Bedroom's in good decorative order. General cleanliness appears to be good actually. A little bit more attention to detail above on high level areas. Could improve the overall quality, I think.
Good morning, Saxonia Guest House.
After spending the night at the Saxonia, the inspector is enjoying breakfast. John and Sandy remain oblivious to his identity.
That's
Right,
lovely.
thanks very much.
Thanks very much indeed.
We'll see you next time you're down.
Is it Mr. Harrop?
I am, yes.
Yeah. Can I introduce myself properly, Mr. Harrop? From Quality and Tourism. I'm here on to do your quality assessment.
Right.
Okay.
Do you know what? I've been in the hotel industry 20 years and I haven't spotted one yet.
Across the road, Ruth waits anxiously. The inspection has to be conducted in private, but it's not all going according to plan.
I'm coming. I think one of the locks is jammed and we can't get in the room, and the inspector needs to go in there.
Ruth is as anxious as the Harrops to know the inspector's assessment. After checking the guest house from top to bottom, it's time for the inspector to reveal his verdict.
I have to say, having assessed your property, you're not falling short in terms of your 3-star. You're comfortably 3-star. But what I would say to you is my remit is not to actually push the rating all the time. It's to actually make sure you're comfortable with what you do. And I'd rather see you comfortably within your 3-star mark than perhaps, less comfortable at a 4. But it's a good stay, and thank you very much indeed.
Okay.
To the Harrops, the inspector's judgment may spell failure. But in reality, they've done well to move from 3 diamonds to 3 stars under the new scheme.
Girls, you didn't get a 4-star. I thought at the beginning that we were shooting for the stars. So we got to go forward and we got to increase our efforts now. And we're going to pull ourselves up, stitch a smile on our face and get on with it again.
John is clearly disappointed. So Ruth sits the Harrops down for one last discussion.
I'm concerned that because you've got what you think is only 3 stars, that you won't remember what a fantastic journey you've come on. Don't you feel just a bit proud of yourselves?
No, we feel extremely proud of ourselves.
You have come a long, long way. And I've got to give you, John, particular credit because, there was some friction for sure. And I thought you were just going to, mentally kind of give me 2 fingers.
Every single thing you say went in.
It did. No, because you've proved it.
Yeah.
Because you actually did the jobs that I was talking about, felt needed doing. You actually delivered. It's this thing of looking at the place with fresh eyes. I mean, do you feel that you can now look at it with new eyes?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, the expression, what will Ruth think, has been said more than once.
I'm haunting you, even in my absence.
Yeah, you are. I dream about you.
You mean you have nightmares about me? As long as he doesn't start calling you Ruth, Sandy.
Yeah,
that would be disastrous. No sex for you, for sure. No. But no, you have done a really good job. I think you should be really proud of yourselves, not just with getting 3 stars, but you should be proud of yourself because you've actually looked at something which was comfortable to you and made changes which were uncomfortable, and you've done it with the real desire to make this place modern, fresh, and nice for your customers. Take great care. John, carry on as you do in your own inimitable style. Yeah. It'll all be all right.
And thank you ever so much for what you've done for us, Ruth. It's deeply, deeply appreciated. Safe journey home.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Bye. See you soon. Bye. Saxonia is what it is. I think they've done fantastically well to get 3 stars. I really don't think 4 stars was achievable, and I think they should be so happy with the progress they've made. It's a modest guest house. It now fulfills guests' expectations, and I think they should just be very happy that this is a jolly decent 3-star hotel now.